Hey guys, today we're gonna do something different. I laughed because I said let's go right before I press record, and the baby said let's go. Today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna try to debunk, and this is, by the way, not on purpose. We're gonna try to debunk how long you could keep stone crab claws frozen and that they're still good. So if you Google it, it says 6 months. This was obviously not by design, but when the baby was born last year, we were getting our traps out and we saved a bunch of crab, and we thought, when the family starts coming over from out of town, we'll make crab for everybody. But we were just exhausted. We were just way too tired to even make any crab when people started coming in those first few months. And then the reality is I forgot all about that crab. Now we're doing a lot of getting our freezers cleaned out. And here we come across all this crab that we vacuum sealed and we put in that freezer like 12 to 14 months ago. So we're gonna try to debunk it and see. Growing up in a Hispanic family, if you know anybody that's Hispanic, my parents say nothing goes bad when it's frozen. So we obviously know that is not true. It probably won't go bad per se, but it's definitely not gonna have the optimal taste. So today we're gonna take it out. We've got a bunch of crab here. We're gonna do a crab feast, and we're gonna see, does 14-month-old crab that's been in the freezer still taste good? So if you haven't watched any of our other videos, right, and if you got frozen stone crab claws, the way that you need to cook them is you want to go ahead and bring that water to a boil. Then you're going to take your stone crab claws and put it in the water. Before you put the water to a boil, though, you want to make sure that you put a lot of salt in the water. What you really want is the salinity in that water to be like ocean water, right? It's the only way that you could get some kind of seasoning in that crab. When you eat it and it's caught right out of the ocean, it's got that natural salt water taste inside of it. So we went ahead, we salted this up. We've got our water to a boil. Then you're gonna put your claws in it. Don't thaw them out. You're gonna take them frozen. You're gonna put it inside of the boiling water. You're gonna give it 10 minutes, and we're gonna take it out. Put it in some ice water. So get a bucket, put it in the bucket. We're gonna pour some ice on it, put some water in it to kind of make it like a water and ice brine. We're gonna leave it for 10 minutes, and then it's gonna stop the cooking process, and they're gonna be ready to eat. So while we have this crab cooking, I want to give you some insights about stone crab. If you're new to the channel or haven't seen our other video that we have, and I'll drop the thumbnail here so you can see it. We can link it at the end of this one, but how you cook stone crab claws, right? And so we answered a lot of frequently asked questions that we get around stone crab in that video. Some of it is, folks ask us why you only eat the claws, and that's because it's illegal to harvest a whole crab. Stone crab have this very unique feature where they could regenerate their claws and their limbs. And they do it because if a predator goes to grab them, they actually release their claw and it regrows back again. So when we harvest a claw and you remove the claw, it'll take about 2 to 3 years and it'll be another legal size claw again. Another question that we get asked a lot is, how do you catch the stone crabs? And so, some people think we actually go in the water and we dive down there and we get them. And while there are some folks out there that are crazy enough to do that, and I say crazy enough because a grown adult stone crab claw, their crusher claw, can exert 9,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. So if you're in the water with them in their environment, and they grab a hold of your finger, they could rip your finger off. So they're gonna keep your finger, you're gonna come up with 9 fingers. So we don't do that. I wanna keep all my fingers. So we actually catch it with traps. So we commercially fish for stone crab also. We have a trap, and that trap it's got cement in the bottom. It sits at the bottom of the ocean. We've got a rope with a buoy attached at the top, and it's got our color and our number on it. There's regulations for it, but essentially we drop that trap. We put bait in there. We use cowhide, we use pig's feet. A lot of guys use fish heads and fish carcasses, and we just have too many traps to do that. But now during the summer, we start saving towards the end of summer. A lot of the carcasses and the fish heads that we get are swordfish carcasses and heads. We use that for bait as well. And we put it in the trap, we drop the trap, and then we come back every week, we pull it, we take the crab out. If they're legal size claws, and we harvest them. And we kind of do that throughout the duration of the whole season. And the stone crab season right now starts in October. So October 5th, we're allowed to put the traps into the water. First day that crab can be sold to market is October 15th. So they have 10 days of soak time. Then we start on the 15th pulling traps all the way through. Last day of the season is May 1st. So May 1st, last day that you can harvest stone crab claws. All right, so we have 10 minutes have passed. It is boiling up. We are gonna go ahead, get our Yeti bucket. We're gonna go ahead and take these out. We're gonna go ahead and get them in the bucket. And we're gonna get this bucket and we're gonna fill it up with some ice. And then we're gonna put some water in there, get it 10 minutes so that it stops the cooking process. And then we're gonna go ahead and crack them and see if Google's right, or see if 14-month-old stone crab claws still taste good. All right, guys, so while we've got the crab sitting in the ice brine here, my son came up and said, oh, he wants to try to dip it in some garlic butter sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and get that going here. We got 2 sticks of butter. I'm gonna drop these in a pot. Ooh, a little too hot. And then we've got some minced garlic we're gonna go ahead and pour in here. And we're gonna go ahead and get that melted up. You really wanna make sure the heat is not super high because you're gonna burn the butter. I'll tell you, if the crab doesn't come out good, we definitely have some garlic butter here we could dip some bread into. But I have a feeling that this crab, while it might not taste like the day we caught it, it's still gonna taste pretty darn good. And so if you wanna freeze crab, guys, I'll tell you, you catch it or you buy it and you wanna freeze it, vacuum seal it, get all the air out of it, and go ahead and put it in the freezer. We've got a vacuum seal machine that we use. We vacuum sealed it and we put it like that in the freezer. So I do suspect that while it's not gonna taste just like the day that we caught it, it's gonna taste pretty darn good. And I'll tell you, if you haven't seen the video, we did a video at the beginning of the stone crab season. And what we really wanted to do, we thought about it and really got the idea from talking to a friend of mine from going to the store. And we were going to the store, supermarket, and in that week I saw the same crab that was out, and the next day they would have the same stone crab claws that were out. And talking to a friend of mine, and he said, man, I wonder how, that crab can't be any good. And so I thought to myself, unless you're catching it yourself or you're buying it directly from a fisherman and you know exactly when it was caught, you have no way of knowing. And if you ask the market, they're going to tell you the crab is fresh, of course, because they want to sell it. So we took some stone crab claws and we did 10 days, I believe it was, and I ate a claw every single day and kind of described it. And really at the end of the 10 days, there was a very slight difference in the moisture of the crab, but not much of a difference at all. And so I think we could have kept on going past the 10 days. I only left 10 claws out. So really, if you haven't seen that video, we'll go ahead and drop it at the end of this one as well. We'll drop both of them, how to cook the stone crab claws, and then that video if you want to go ahead and check it out. Because the reality is, if you are, anywhere outside of, where you're catching it yourself, even if you were to go to a local market, the only way you could guarantee that that crab was caught that same day is on opening day, right? So if you're buying it anywhere and you're outside of Florida, like 98, 99% of the crab that is caught and harvested in the U.S. and sold in the U.S. comes directly from Florida. So if you're buying it outside of Florida and you want to know, is how long it'll stay fresh on ice, you can go ahead and check out that video. But let's get a little bit of salt in here. And we are ready to put this to the side, get our stone crab claws out and crack them, and see if we could debunk it or if Google is right. All right, guys, we are back at the table and we're laughing here. My poor son says, I don't have a mic, and I told him it's by design. Poor guy, I was just joking. I was just joking. The other mic's now charged, so I had to use the backup one. But we're here at the table. We cracked the claws. They look amazing. Let's go ahead and dive in. You got your garlic butter here. Let's see how this tastes. And on the other side of the camera, I'll let you know I've got the baby there, and she loves eating crab, and so she also loves moving Daddy's lights and camera tripods. So we've got her here on the other side of this. She's ready to dive in. So we're gonna taste it first, make sure it's good. Pretty impressive. My wife is also looking at me. Everybody was nervous with the old crab. You know, it's a little bit firmer.
Yeah.
Then right when you catch it. My God, I can't believe this is, Google said 6 months. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I'm gonna try your garlic sauce. How does that taste?
Great.
This one here, the meat is a little stuck to the shell, which is not a good sign. So that's a sign, guys, when these things have been frozen, that meat sticking to the shell. The first one did not have that problem. The second one did. So guys, I think we've debunked it. This has been frozen for 14 months. Again, it does not taste like right out of the water crab, but the reality is most people aren't even eating stone crab, that they have the ability to even taste what that tastes like unless you're catching them yourself. But I want to thank you for watching. If you want to learn how to cook the stone crab claws, check out this video. We'll see you on the next one.